Manchester United are in talks with Inter Milan over a shock swap deal involving Aaron Wan-Bissaka in exchange for Denzel Dumfries. Mazraoui to West Ham is a here we go. Antonio Silva apparently be considered as a delict alternative. And also, Yusuf Fofana says yes to United. These are some of the stories we will be discussing this lunchtime. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. Currently, only 50% of people who watch our videos are subscribed. So if you're one of those who's watching today for the first time, make sure you get involved. It's your best way to keep up to date with all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Right, the question I've got for you today is, would you swap Aaron Wan-Bissaka for Denzel Dumfries? Let me know in the comments section. I'll bring you all of the story around that topic in a couple of minutes' time, but in the meantime, let me know. Would you do that swap deal? And I want to start off with some breaking news that's just dropped about Mazraoui, obviously the right back from Bayern Munich that apparently Manchester United have been trying to sign. This is coming out from Florian Plettenberg, who is saying that apparently West Ham have now reached an agreement to sign Mazraoui, apparently for a fee of 15.5 million euros plus add-ons. He says there's also an agreement in principle between the agent and the club. So it looks like we've missed out. Apparently Manchester United are still interested though. So at least now we know how much the Mazraoui deal is going to cost because another club's already put in a bid. And it effectively means that Man United could go and hijack that deal. 15.5 million euros is 13 million pounds. That deal has been agreed between Bayern and West Ham. The player wants to go to West Ham, but as Florian Plettenberg says, Manchester United are still trying to push for Mazraoui. I mean, for 13 million pounds, other than his injury record, you can't really go wrong with that, can you? 26 years of age, obviously played under Erik ten Hag previously at Ajax, can operate as a left back, a right back, and he can play as a CDM. I think he could be a good signing for 13 million pounds. Like, it's not very much money, is it, in the grand scheme of things? But we'll wait and see what happens with that one. Man United are going to have to act quick because he has apparently agreed terms with West Ham, and West Ham have agreed terms with Bayern Munich. This has literally just been confirmed in the last couple of minutes. So unless Manchester United act very quickly, Mazraoui will not be coming to Manchester United. He will be going to West Ham. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But would you even want Mazraoui at Manchester United? That's my next question. I know that he's got a lot of injuries. I know that some people are sick of all of the Eredivisie players. And I get it. It's frustrating because it seems like we're buying past and present Ajax team at points, doesn't it? But my stance has always been this. If we're getting the best players, then why not? Is Mazraoui the best right back that's available to us? I'm not sure if he is. I think Hanko's better. I think Denzel Dumfries better, who we're going to talk about in a minute. I think Ferdi Kadioglu's better. So, yeah, I'm a little bit unsure. I just think for 13 million pounds, it's not bad as a backup option, you know, for a player of his quality. If he didn't have the injury record he had, I would definitely say let's go for him. But I'll be interested to see what you all think. It looks like West Ham will get their man. And as I said, his injury record does concern me a lot. And I think that there's a reason why Bayern Munich are selling him. There's a reason why they're willing to let him go for as little as 13 million pounds, you know, and that reason will be because of his injury record. He's missing like 10 to 20 games every season for the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, it's probably a pass for that reason. But obviously we'll see how it materialises. If Manchester United want to sign him, they're going to need to act very, very quickly because, as Florian Plettenberg says, a deal has been agreed between West Ham and Bayern Munich for 13 million pounds for Mazraoui. But moving on from that, I want to talk a little bit about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So this story just broke in the last couple of minutes. This is coming out from David Ornstein, by the way, who is, of course, Tier 1 journalist, reports for The Athletic, doesn't put out fake stories. He is reporting that Aaron Wan-Bissaka has rejected West Ham and now favours a move to Inter Milan. Obviously, we spoke a couple of days ago on the show, didn't we, about Wan-Bissaka to West Ham looking likely. He wanted to go back to London. He's got a young daughter there, 1 year left of his contract, blah, blah, blah. But apparently he said, no, I don't want to go there, which I think surprises me. But obviously, only Wan-Bissaka knows what he wants. And apparently, according to David Ornstein, Wan-Bissaka wants to move to Inter Milan. He goes on to say that the idea would be that Aaron Wan-Bissaka will join Inter Milan and Denzel Dumfries will join Manchester United. It is currently being discussed between the agents, and it says that at this point, it is just conversations between Inter Milan and Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka wants to join Inter Milan. Denzel Dumfries wants to join Manchester United. Obviously, they both operate in the same position. Denzel Dumfries can play as a right back. That's what we effectively need. They both have 1 year left of their contract. They both aren't signing new deals at the club. So when you look at it like that, it makes sense. Two players who effectively are going to leave their respective clubs in the next 12 months for nothing. And Manchester United and Inter Milan have this opportunity now to either sell these players or to get some cash for them. And it looks like a swap deal is going to materialise here. And this is, as I said, coming out from David Ornstein, who doesn't put out, fake stories. He doesn't make up stuff. It's all very, very reliable stuff that comes from David Ornstein. People are asking for a poll on Mazraoui. You can let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Do you want to swap Denzel Dumfries for Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Let me know. So in relation to Denzel Dumfries, let's give you a bit of a breakdown on him. 28 years of age, so he's a couple of years older than Wan-Bissaka, which I don't think is a massive problem. He is obviously a full Dutch international, another Dutch player that will upset some people this afternoon, I'm sure. Injury records wise, he's not really injury prone. He missed 4 games last season, and then the last time he missed any games was in 2016. So injuries aren't a concern for Denzel Dumfries. The thing with Dumfries is, right, if this was like 3 or 4 years ago, I would be jumping around my room. But I feel like he's one of those names that's just been around for so long. I think he's very strong. He's fast. He's not the best attacking right back, to be honest. But then neither is Wan-Bissaka. So would I swap Denzel Dumfries for Wan-Bissaka? I probably would, if you factor in the situation. Obviously, the situation is, if we don't let Wan-Bissaka go now, he'll leave for free anyway. So we are, as I said before, seeing an opportunity on the market to do a deal that makes sense. And for that reason, I probably would do it. If it was a straight swap, no money involved, like no, not part player plus cash, like a straight swap deal, I think it would make sense for both clubs. Obviously, neither of them want to stay at their current clubs. The only thing I don't understand about this story is if Wan-Bissaka has this like young daughter, right, who lives in London, then how does moving to Milan help him? But I mean, that's not really my problem, I guess. That's up to him. Wages-wise, because I think this is important when we're factoring a decision, Wan-Bissaka currently earns considerably more than Denzel Dumfries. So it might actually end up being that if Denzel Dumfries came and stayed on his current wage, we would actually be better off. So Wan-Bissaka earns 90k a week at Manchester United, and Denzel Dumfries earns about 50k a week. So Wan-Bissaka's earning about double what Denzel Dumfries is at the moment. Now, that doesn't mean that Denzel Dumfries might join Manchester United and demand this, 90,000 a week or 100,000 a week. Like, that is a possibility. But as it stands at the moment, he is free. He's available to get. And I think he would be a good deal. But I want you all to let me know, like, would you like to see Dumfries at Manchester United? I think as a backup option, he's fine. But I wouldn't be that excited about him coming. I just think when you factor in the situation and you factor in that Manchester United need to do something with Wan-Bissaka, and for whatever reason he's rejected West Ham, which I honestly think is strange. I really, really do. Especially when you factor the young daughter living in London thing. But I'm not going to judge Wan-Bissaka on that. That's up to him. And the fact that David Ornstein is saying that Wan-Bissaka specifically wants to join Inter Milan and Denzel Dumfries wants to join Manchester United, like, it's a strange situation, and it's not one that I thought we'd be talking about this window. Obviously, Mazraoui looks likely to join West Ham after a deal's been agreed between the two clubs. So what do we do now? Ferdi Kadioglu is going to cost you 30, 40 million. So that's probably unrealistic. Hanko is a very good option, but he can't play right back. He can play left back, left-sided centre-back and right-sided centre-back. So we still need a right back. And obviously we know that Dalot can cover at left back as well. So, I mean, if this genuinely could happen, I would probably do it. I'm not going to be massively excited about Dumfries, but a swap deal is a swap deal. They both have 1 year left of their deal. As I said, Dumfries earns about half the amount of money as Wan-Bissaka does, so the wages aren't a problem. We'll wait and see how this one progresses, but I would be open to it. if it is just to have him as a backup. I don't want Dumfries to be starting ahead of Dalot. And the question we have to ask ourselves then is, would Dumfries be happy to be the backup to Diogo Dalot? And I don't know the answer to that question because obviously only Dumfries knows that answer. Would he be happy to be like a rotational player? Because that's what he would be at Manchester United. He wouldn't be a starting player, I don't think. I mean, maybe he would, but I would be sad if Dalot was thrown out of the team and Denzel Dumfries took his place, because I don't think Denzel Dumfries at the age of 28 is that much better. I'm just having a look at how many minutes he played. So he played 31 games last season in the Serie A, Denzel Dumfries, so nearly every game, and he played 5 times in the Champions League. So he was an important part of Inter Milan's team last season. I'll be honest, I don't watch the Serie A, so I have no idea how he was last season. So if anybody in the comment section is a Serie A fan, let me know. Was Denzel Dumfries good last season? Because I've only ever really seen him at international level. Obviously, Inter Milan won the Serie A by like 20 points, which I think is a good indication. And he was the starting right back for them. And the only reason they want rid of him is because he won't sign a new contract, just to be very, very clear. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Everyone who's just joined, if you could do me a favour and smash a like, that'd be really, really appreciated. And make sure you subscribe as well. We're very close to 33k subscribers. We're literally just about to hit it, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, we'll wait and see how this one progresses. The other news I've got for you this afternoon is that apparently Jared Branthwaite has rejected a new contract at Everton, and he says that he'll only sign a new deal if he matches the 160 grand a week that Manchester United offered him. So at the moment, Branthwaite, no new deal, rejecting it at Everton, and he's demanding 160k a week from Everton to stay, which is what Manchester United were willing to pay Jared Branthwaite if he was going to join Manchester United. So they find themselves in a bit of a situation here, but he still has 3 years left of his contract. So although they're trying to give him a new deal, like, he's got 3 years left. So there's not really much he can do unless he hands in a transfer request. At the moment, he earns about 70k a week. So he wants nearly 2.5 times what he's earning at the moment. I think Branthwaite, the ship has sailed. I think we're out of that one now, but obviously it is a news show and he's a player we've been linked to. And the news is that he's rejected he's rejected a new contract at Everton and demanding £160,000 per week, which I think is crazy, but it is what it is. The next story I've got for you is on Youssouf Fofana. Okay, this is coming out from multiple different French outlets this afternoon, including L'Equipe, a couple of others as well. And they are reporting that apparently Fofana has said he wants to join Manchester United. It says he would be open to the move and is very, very flattered by Manchester United's interest. Now, we all know that AC Milan were close to agreeing a deal for Youssouf Fofana, but for whatever reason, that deal fell through. So Youssouf Fofana to AC Milan is off. He is now available on the market. Now, do we think Youssouf Fofana is the player we need? I like him. I think he's decent. And I think, like some of the other players that we're linked to this summer, Youssouf Fofana presents an opportunity on the market. He is the right age. He is the exact position we need. And he's got 1 year left of his deal. He's refusing to sign a new contract at Monaco. So Monaco have to sell him. And they're not going to get the top deal for him because they know that if they don't sell him now, they will lose him for nothing next summer. So for me personally, if we could get Youssouf Fofana for a decent amount of money, I would say 30 million tops, I would sign him because I think he's good. Full France international, obviously had some good years over in the French league, and I think it presents much better value for money to go for Youssouf Fofana, who's going to cost you around 30 million, than to go for Manuel Ugarte, who is maybe 1 or 2 years younger, but it's going to cost you 70 million. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And to me, Manuel Ugarte is not an opportunity. An opportunity is where a club's willing to negotiate with you because of the circumstances surrounding the player. Now, PSG should be willing to negotiate with us for Manuel Ugarte because he spent most of last season on the bench. But for whatever reason, they're saying, no, we want 70 million. We want a profit versus what we paid for him 1 year ago, which I think is just stupid. So yeah, Youssouf Fofana apparently wants to join Manchester United after the deal with AC Milan has fallen through. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on what goes on with this one, but he is going to leave this summer 100%, 100%, and he's available for about 20 to 30 million euros. So it definitely does present a good bit of value in the market there for Manchester United. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that one. The next story I've got for you is coming out from multiple different Portuguese outlets this afternoon, that apparently Manchester United have contacted Benfica over a potential deal for Antonio Silva. Obviously the centre-back, 20 years of age. He'd be a quality signing. I would much prefer him to any of the other players we've been linked to, you know, the De Ligts, the Hankos, etc. But the only issue with this is he's got a huge release clause, £84 million. Although the story coming out from these Portuguese journalists this afternoon is that apparently Benfica would be willing to negotiate a lower price for Antonio Silva. 84 million is ridiculous. He's not worth that. He's probably worth, I reckon he's worth about the same amount of money as Lenny Yoro, so somewhere between 40 and 50 million pounds. 20 years of age, obviously full Portuguese international, has been in the Benfica first team for 2 years. Played in the Champions League, played in the Portuguese League, obviously. He's a very, very good centre-back and would be the perfect player to bring in, because if you think about it, right, 20 years of age, that would mean you'd have Lenny Yoro, Martinez and Antonio Silva as your 3 main centre-backs. That would be quality, absolutely quality. I would much rather Antonio Silva than Branthwaite or De Ligt or any of the others. And I think if we could get this deal done, it would be incredible. It really, really would. But not for 84 million, because 84 million is way too high, way too high. So the story goes on to say that apparently Benfica would be willing to accept somewhere around 50 million. Obviously, there's this release clause, but they acknowledge that they're not going to get 84 million for him. And Benfica apparently need to sell 2 players this summer to raise funds. Every year, some of the clubs around Europe have to sell their biggest players. It's unfortunate, and it's just how it is. Obviously, the Premier League is where all the money is. La Liga is where all the money is. And teams in like Portugal or teams in, the French league, apart from PSG, they have to sell their players because they don't make anywhere near the amount of money as Manchester United do. But how would you feel about Antonio Silva? Would you like to see him at Manchester United? Let me know in the comment section. I think he'd be quality, and I think his age profile and all the rest of it would be absolutely perfect for what Manchester United need at the moment. Because, the thing is, right, we need to build a team for the future. And people like Antonio Silva, Lenny Yoro, like those are players for the future. That's us securing the next kind of 10, 15 years at this club. And I think that's exactly what we need to do, don't we? So, yeah, I would be open to do that deal. But as I said, not for 84 million, because I think that's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. It was just a short lunchtime roundup to bring you all of the latest bits of news. Please make sure to smash a like on the video before you leave. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. This has been Daily Red Devil. I'll be back at 6 p.m. UK time for another hour-long show. I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.